What is up, Bolt fam? We're here to not only preview the Kansas City Chiefs game, but we're also going to be talking about how awful that Cowboys.
Mike, there's a flag on the play. Mike, right here. There's a flag on the play.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just try again. What's up, Bolt fam? Welcome to Nuts and Bolts. We're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs coming up. We're also going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm sorry, but there's another flag. There was an illegal use of words in consecutive sentences. You use the words with the same letters to start. You just start over again, please.
Welcome to the newest episode of Nuts and Bolts, Week 3 preview.
Third flag on the play. Suck it, Correnti. Suck it!
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
On blue, ready?
Don Coryell.
Hello, history books. Touchdown, San Diego! Woo!
Fighting through the flags and all the penalties. You are tuned in to Nuts and Bolts. I'm here with Tony Tucker, and we're pumped to talk about the Cowboys Chargers a little bit. I've agreed to myself that whenever we say the first word about this game, I'm setting a 5-minute timer, and then we're never going to talk about this game again. 5 minutes. Go ahead, let it all out. 5 minutes, and we'll never talk about the game again. We're also going to preview Week 3. If you guys want to stick around for that, the chat is open, free. All you got to do is just hop in there and leave your thoughts on whatever we're discussing, or if there's a question or anything you guys want us to discuss specifically. We'll be live here until we get to our score predictions for this week at the end of the show. Anyways, 5 minutes. It's about 2 minutes. Perfect. At 7 minutes, we're moving on from this topic, Tony. Go ahead. Let it loose.
Okay. Stormin, Norton, Norm, Storton, whatever your name is, bro. You turned Micah Parsons into all of a sudden a Hall of Famer. I'm hearing Troy Aikman go, wow, this kid's got it. This kid, I mean, he could be Von Miller and Lawrence Taylor all wrapped up into one. After one game, he had 0 moves. He just rushed up the field. Okay, the other thing is that they calculated that almost 150 or 180 passing yards were taken away on penalties in this game. Like, we were even throwing it to, like, Donald Parham. Like, we basically looked through our playbook and we were like, hey, Correnti, who do you have on your fantasy team? Because Herbert will drop a dime in his lap for a touchdown. Is this the issue here? Is this what you need? Is Herbert not throwing it to McKitty because you play in a super deep league? What's going on, bro? You cannot throw... You can't call that many penalties. Absurdness. The Jalen Guyton penalty downfield made me want to rip my face off. And granted, bad penalties on both sides. Don't get me wrong. But this game should have been fun. And it was not fun to watch on either side of the ball because it was just like, I wish I had a whistle sound effect. That's it. That's all I got. Go ahead, Mike.
That's what hurts me the most about it is because even on Dallas side, they had a few calls go against them as well. Not as much as the Chargers, not as impactful. And don't let a Cowboys fan try and convince you that them losing out on 5 yards because of a weird holding call in the defensive backfield is equivalent to 3 touchdowns and 2 other plays that were 30-plus yard plays being taken away because of penalties. And then not only that, I mean, shake back as it comes into my head, not only that, game-costing penalty on the Jared Cook one. And Chris Kyle said, great whistle noise, Tony. But but not only did they take the touchdown off the board, which could have been the game-winning touchdown for Jared Cook, that sack call is one of the worst things that I've seen. And it got to a point with these bad calls, for the first time as an NFL fan, and I've said this to you behind the scenes, Tony, for the first time as an NFL fan, I actually questioned the legitimacy of the game. That's how bad the refs were. I don't think the game was rigged. I'm going to put that out there right now. But it actually crept into my mind how bad the calls were, and that sack call was like a little cherry on top. And I was just so mad, man. I was so mad. Congrats to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they did what they needed to do to win. They knew that we couldn't stop their run game, so they just ran the ball the entire game and held on for a game-winning field goal, which was an amazingly clutch kick by Zerline, to give him his own credit. But, man, that game should have been a 35-31 classic this Sunday.
Thank you, Shake Back, for jumping in here and helping us. This is the only time I can agree with him. Shake Back is a Raiders fan, and we're coming for you guys, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Thank you for hating the Cowboys. I hope the Eagles destroy them. I would have been so much happier had they just called like intentional grounding on that play rather than saying that he's down. Like, you're going to protect him on that play, but twice when players dived into his knees against Washington game and then once in the other one, you're not protecting him there, but you're going to protect. Okay. Have a little bit of consistency. That's all I wanted to see.
That's it. And we even saw a play last night in last night's game where Sam Darnold is at the 1 yard line. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to set up something else in the background, but Sam Darnold is on the 1 yard line doing a QB sneak. He gets stood up for 5 seconds, and they don't call him down by 4 progress. They let his offensive linemen and running backs come from behind and push him into the end zone, which is fine. That's legal. Like I said, as long as we keep it consistent, Herbert got touched by the guy sacking him. He had begun touching Herbert, and they called him down. What? Herbert's fighting to stay up. Herbert's still moving his feet. He's not stopped his movement at all. And he's going through a throwing motion of throwing this ball away. And by the way, he threw it away. It got to the line of scrimmage. There was a guy in the area anyway, so it doesn't matter if he gets to the line of scrimmage. He's outside the pocket. We would be 3rd and 7 from the 7 yard line with 2 plays to score the game-winning touchdown, which I think, based off of how our offense was playing and how we had just scored a touchdown, it was happening.
That we had just scored several touchdowns. I mean, throughout the entire game, it was like that. Every time that they would put us backwards, we had Hakuna Matata, Justin Herbert. That's what I call him when I'm at home, because I don't have any worries with this kid at quarterback. The future is so bright for the Chargers. It's not even ridiculous. The bandwagon fans, we're not even going to be able to take names and numbers. We're just going to be like, fit in, get in where you can fit in here, people. It's all gravy here on the Chargers side. We have passed our 7 minutes. I just want to say, Shake Back, you were right. Hashtag America's refs stole that from us.
All right. That game's officially in the past, Tony. That game is officially in the past. We're going to clean in our hands. We're throwing it away. Yes, it happened. We'll probably laugh about it at the end of the year when we're, 12-5 and going to the playoffs. So we'll probably laugh about it. And we'll just say, big deal, right? We lost that game because of the refs, and it'll forever be known as we lost that game because of the refs. Let's move on to next week. We're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a tough matchup, obviously. Here's the injury report. First things first, Tony, to react to it. Big scare here with Joey Bosa. Bosa unable to participate in any practice sessions this week so far due to a foot/ankle injury, and he is questionable to play in the game this Sunday. Derwin James returned to practice. Same thing as last week, Thursday, after sitting out for the same toe issue he had last week. Chris Harris Jr. is another one that's up in the air. Coach Staley said in his press conference that he is unsure on if Chris Harris Jr.'s status for week 3. He's labeled day to day, so probably a game time decision, honestly. Austin Eckler fully practiced on Thursday, was out of practice on Wednesday, so that's why he's on this report, but he's expected to play through this hamstring injury that's been ailing him so far this year. And we have a few other guys. Matt Filer, he had a full practice, expecting him to play. Justin Jones did not practice on Thursday either, so that's something to watch out for. A big part of our running defense issues have been Justin Jones not being healthy out there, Linval Joseph not being out there. Kenneth Murray, who had an interesting game. I mean, he made some plays, but if you really review it and look at it from the bird's eye view, wasn't nearly as aggressive as he needs to be, but he had a full practice after having an ankle injury on Wednesday, so he should be good to go. As far as the Chiefs, everyone on this list, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing, are good to go except for Frank Clark and Chris Jones, limited practices on Thursday. Probably playing, but they may be playing in a limited fashion. So, I mean, never root for injuries, but like I was saying last week, seeing Chris Jones and Frank Clark, that helps out Austin Eckler, Herbert, this offensive line, and the entire offense in general, because those are 2 of their better players on that side of the ball.
Okay, Mike, so I don't want to panic. I'm not freaking out or anything that against the best quarterback in the NFL, maybe we don't have a pass rusher, the best safety in the game in our nickel corner. What do you mean I'm freaking out, bro? I'm totally calm. I got everything together. Those guys have to play. Like, they're gonna just have to gut through it. I mean, Derwin, amputated toe and become the next Ronnie Lott, my friend. If that's what it takes, we just got to take that toe. If it's giving you enough, we'll make up for it. We'll start a GoFundMe. We'll get you the best aesthetic money can buy. Now, I really hope all of these guys can play. I want Chris Harris out there in the slot. We're going to talk about my X Factor player, which is like, he's not the biggest name on the Chiefs, but he's somebody that I think is going to get some one-on-one coverages, and he just cannot. He can't beat us. He can't destroy us. I would like to say that we're going to storm the kingdom this weekend.
Queendom.
We are the queendom.
That's what Shake
Really?
Backshow said. He said hashtag Chiefs Queendom. How do they say
And
it?
he wants you to call him Willie. He wants you to go by his name. Willie Epting
Oh,
Jr.
Willie. Yeah, Willie
Host-
Epting Jr.
Host of the Ballers Report every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 Central. Repping the Ballers Report. Love it. Thank you,
Randy.
Willie.
Thanks.
Tune into that.
Knuckles said P.
P. All right. I'm with it. Mike, the injuries for them are the injuries coming into the game on both sides is like, it's not balanced out at all. Like Chris Jones is a really great player. You know how I feel about him or whatever. But if he's not there, like, we just got gashed for 200 yards. If we don't have a pass rush and we're missing any of those guys for any time, it could be a long day on the road. Like all those guys are going to have to find ways to get out there and give some gutty performances.
Yeah, I think I'm only really worried about just a complete scratch Chris Harris Jr. I think Bosa's going to play, but I'm just a little bit worried. Ankle for a pass rusher, that's tough to play through if he's even limited at all. Jake, the Snake Sports Talk Show, fellow Chargers fan in the chat. But it does make me feel a little better, and it might make you feel a little better to hear what Staley said yesterday after practice.
Such a missed practice today?
I don't think so. Nothing new from the game. We got some guys that are sore, and we may hold some guys out as more cautionary for today. I like to give guys one extra day, especially the guys that have played a lot of ball in the league. So a lot of times if we do that, it's just more, precautionary, knowing that tomorrow's the big work day. So if you see that, then that's probably the reason.
So keep an eye on see if Bosa practices today. I mean, Staley was basically describing Joey Bosa when he said people that play a lot of ball that have naggy injuries all the time.
Yeah, and obviously he already showed us that's his plan. Like, none of these guys got any reps. So I don't think that necessarily helps you, because you go from 0 to 100, and you don't want guys going 100 in the preseason, or some guys maybe trying to like get out there and go 75, and then they could really get hurt. My problem that I have is that if he's going in the game, my brain will go, oh yeah, we got Bosa. He's coming off the edge today, and he's going to eat, because the Ravens got there, the Browns got there. Like, he can get there. But if he plays and he has the ankle injury and he goes away, it crushes me mentally. Like, I can't handle it, because then he goes out and I'm worried about how long the player is going to be out for. Is this, what's the significance? And when you're just in that situation, waiting for any piece of information about one of your favorite players, and then, so basically what I'm saying is I'm going to have Sage, holy water. I'm going over to Jersey. We're going to get it together right here.
Panthers fans are kind of already going through that this week with CMC.
Can't even
so we've
pat
already
him on the back.
that. Flash Johnson wants me to make a TikTok about positions with the Chiefs. I will be, and I will make it exactly like I did with the Dallas Cowboys. The Chargers are better at every position until people understand that I am being biased. So you do not need to leave a comment that says, you're so biased. Yeah, I am. You got me. Look at this whole entire set we have here. It's all chargered out. Simply Dab, Chargers fan, also said, if Derwin can shut down Kelsey, what does that do for our defense? And this seems like a perfect time to transition into the guys that we highlighted as our X factors, because I highlighted this matchup as my X factor in this game. You never can stop the Kansas City Chiefs offense, but the first step, and people always think it's stopping Tyreek Hill. I think the first step to slowing down this offense is slowing down Travis Kelsey. We have his kryptonite in Derwin James. Let's see how Derwin James can do against him. It's been a couple years since we've seen this matchup between these guys. Derwin's always fared pretty well against Kelsey, but I think that if he can slow down Kelsey, and now they have to try and start forcing the ball outside the Hill, that's when guys like ASJ, that's when guys like hopefully Chris Harris Jr., Michael Davis can make some plays on the ball and maybe get a turnover or two forced in this game. I think the best bet is to try and take away Travis Kelsey first, and then just make sure that Hill doesn't get the big plays, and hope that Mahomes makes a few mistakes. We saw in Herbert's debut last year, not last week, it last year against the Chiefs. The Chargers played them almost perfect. Still lost that game because of mistakes at the very end of the game. But exactly what they did in that game with trying to limit Kelsey, it kind of worked. So I'd like to see that again with Derwin this year instead of who would have been last year. Don't even know. Rashawn Jenkins on Kelsey.
Well, let me say this about that matchup, because obviously it's a huge one. I don't think that it needs to be a shutdown thing. It needs to be like a stop of the yak. Like when you look at Travis Kelsey, one of the great things about him is that he doesn't just catch the ball. He then picks up huge chunks of yards on every play, it seems like. So if he can stay there and just make those tackles and make him, be felt, obviously be nice for him to win some matchups, because the thing that was with Favre is the same thing with Mahomes. Mahomes is going to give you a couple opportunities to make plays because he trusts his talent. Herbert does the same thing. He gives defenders chances to make plays because he believes in his arm strength and sometimes tries to fit balls in places that they shouldn't go. And I like that. I'm all for that. I love gamblers. I don't love somebody who plays it safe like Aaron Rodgers. Congratulations, your interception rate is low. You can't get past the NFC Championship game. I don't want to die like that. I want to go out on my sword. I want to fall right on the football that plunges through my heart. So Derwin James on Kelsey doesn't need to be like a complete and total shutdown, but that is what I want to see. Let's get my
manage him. Don't let him take over like he does in a lot of these games. Snake Sports Talk Show saying he wants to see linebackers in coverage a little bit more. I think we're going to see a lot more playing time with Drew Tranquil and Kaiser White. Those guys are a little bit more athletic. It should be Kenneth Murray, but whatever struggles are going on with him, they should be using him for run defense. They should be using him for pass rush more than anything right now. Let's get our coverage linebackers out there. I'm even down with Nick Neiman seeing the field a little bit more. He's playing against his older brother this weekend. I don't know if Ben Neiman's still healthy or not in Kansas City. But moving on to your X Factor players here, you put up Nwosu and Hardman, right? These are the correct ones. I didn't mess it up.
Nope, you nailed it. And we have the better Neiman, by the way. So we have the better team and the better brother. So everything's boding well for us. So Nwosu's highlighted because he made the big hit on Fitzpatrick in the first game. And really, this is just to say, like, the linebacker play in this game is going to have to be outstanding because we need that help in the run. Like, CEH has struggled, and we need that struggle to continue, which means that these guys they cannot be allowing these guys to be able to get to the edge and corner so easy. Like Tony Pollard legit looked like a top 5 running back in the NFL last week. And I know that he's good. He's not that good. He can't get they need to be able to get to the edges. These guys need to be able to put a little bit of pressure on Mahomes and maybe help out with covering Travis Kelsey or the fake Travis Kelsey, who we saw last week. I don't even know his name, but fake Travis Kelsey is the backup tight end for them. And then I put Mecole Hardman on the other side because this is in my head, which I am not a strategist or a coach or whatever. But what I would do is I would have Mike Davis and I would give him help on Tyreek Hill. And I would try to play that double the whole time. And I would give ASJ the one-on-one assignment of Hardman. And in this scenario, Hardman cannot beat you deep. He might catch some balls underneath or whatever, and you might gamble once. But you just can't get beat by the home run by Mecole Hardman because he's been relatively quiet so far. Like DeMarcus Robinson, these secondary guys is the ones that I'm telling you. Like you can't just like be fooled by something and let Patrick Mahomes go deep on you in this game. So I don't know if Hardman, he has the ability to pop, and so does Hill, whatever. But if they double Hill, you put James on Kelsey, and then ASJ locks him up. Hopefully the offensive line for the Chiefs continues to struggle. Like nobody ever wants to talk. All they ever want to talk about is Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey from the Chiefs, which is fine. But their offensive line struggled against the Ravens. It struggled against the Browns. So like now we don't want them to get right this weekend. I mean, honestly, I don't ever want them to get right. Like I want them to be 6-11 for the rest of time. That's not going to happen. But we don't want them getting right in week 3.
I love the take, and I've loved what our defense has done this year. I mean, for the most part, it's very improved from last year, especially the secondary play with Asante Samuel Jr. coming in. I expected them to be improved, But I mean, they came out and they held that Cowboys offense down pretty well. I mean, more than you can even ask for passing wise. It's the run defense that concerns me a ton. And if CEH gashes us and this Chiefs offense runs the ball on us, if we see Patrick Mahomes throw 27 passes like we saw Dak Prescott did last week, we need to address this problem, in the following week and in the weeks ahead, because it is going to start becoming a huge problem with the run defense. We seem to have the pass defense down, which works well against the Chiefs, but the run defense has been real sketchy. Let's see if there's anything in the chat here. Huge. Right. According to Daniel Popper, Joey, Justin Jones, CHJ all didn't practice for the third day in a row today, Friday. All told we will be told their game status later. So there you go. None of those guys are going to be in for sure. JJ being Justin Jones, I assume, our defensive tackle.
And maybe that is just that's his coaching strategy. That's Staley. You see him there and he just says hey, we know what these guys can do. As long as they're there for the game plan and the walkthrough and they know where they're supposed to be, we want them to be as healthy as they can possibly be. And I'm all for that, actually. I know that you need your body, you need physical and mental reps, especially for a game like football. But the problem is that putting these guys more mileage on their body, I don't need it. I don't need LeBron James at practice. I don't need any great player. I know what you can do as soon as the whistle blows. There comes that sound effect again. Crushing it with that whistle.
There's also your flag that got picked up in the green screen.
I know. I didn't think it would pick up yellow. It's supposed to be green. What is this? This is the Correnti of flags right here. Get out of here.
Just absolutely awful. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit worried, especially for Joey Bosa. We need him. Not that we don't stand any chance, because I feel like we can get in a shootout with these guys, but we need him Sunday. I would love to hear some news on Saturday morning or tonight. He's good to go. They're just being cautious, like you're saying. And we would love to have CHJ out there, even Justin Jones, but more CHJ and Joey Bosa than anything. And those guys are vets. So like you're saying, they don't necessarily need all this game prep for a team that they've been playing twice a year for 6 years for Bosa and 10 years for however long Casey Hayward, Chris Harris Jr.'s career has been. Remember, he played in Denver, so he played Kansas City also twice a year back then. So I mean, I don't feel like these guys need practice reps on Friday afternoon. I don't think they need it to play in the game this weekend. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that they're good to go. One more comment here. 3 keys to this game. Oh, Snake Sports Talk Show's here. We just need to add him on air with us. But
I'm in.
1, shut down the run. Biggest problem for the Chargers so far. 2, keep Mahomes on the sideline and play cover at least 60-40. 3, kill him in the red zone and run the ball more. That is the key, I think, is punching our drives home. That is a big key, and that's a good highlight there with all these keys here. But that's a big one that's been tough for me to kind of accept. We were a team that, when we got down to the red zone with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, somebody's scoring. And that was on my mind already. Somebody's scoring. And this year, it has not been like that. We have struggled in the red zone mightily.
Yeah, they put up some numbers the other day while I was watching the NFL Network, and it was they've only scored 3 times in the red zone. And I was like, well, these numbers are kind of skewed because they scored twice in the red zone on Sunday and those were taken off, and then they talked about the turnover ratio and it's well, those numbers are kind of skewed again because that wasn't a fumble through the back, so my thing is that even though the numbers say that they're bad, I don't think that they're bad. I think the conversion rate will not just come back to the middle, but it'll go way in favor of us moving forward there. And I do like the thing about the run because obviously it's Lamar Jackson. We don't have Lamar Jackson, but the Chiefs couldn't stop the run against them. Even Tyson Williams was popping a little bit in that game. And then, we don't have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but I mean, some of those holes that Nick Chubb ran through, we talked about it. Yards before contact was infinity because he drove literally a dump truck through that hole into the end zone. Nick Chubb.
Yeah, Eckler is a must start in your fantasy lineups this week, without a doubt. Eckler is a must. I mean, he's a must start every week to me.
Yeah.
But if there's any doubt, or if you have a really good running back core, and say you got Monty on the bench, and you're debating, put in Eckler. He's going to be going. Will this show still be positive? Will it be positive when you guys, don't make the playoffs and go, 8-9 to finish the season after starting 2-0 again? By the way, this has happened before.
Yeah.
We need to take a shot at them. Like, we're pretty respectful towards our Raiders counterparts here on the Warzone Sports Network. Yes, we have preview shows for like half the league's teams. If you guys aren't Chargers fans and you want to subscribe still, we're pretty respectful of them. But whenever I tune into their show, all they do is make jokes about Chargers fans. And the worst part is you'd think that they would get tired of saying the same shit over and over again, but they don't. Like, they make fun of us not having fans every week. And it's the same exact words, the same exact jokes. It's like, when are these guys going to realize that nobody cares about the Chargers because they don't have any fans? Well, our show outperforms yours every week. So say that to all the non-Chargers fans.
The hosts of the show are miserable people, just like the fan base, just like the last 20 years of really going all the way back to John Madden. And they act like they're this storied franchise and luxury and winning and whatever else. They've got some of the worst tracksuits and haircuts in NFL history. They've made some of the worst moves. We never attack them. We never bring it up. We don't go on here and show Alex Leatherwood's PFF grade after 2 weeks. I don't know what it is, but as somebody who doesn't really pay attention to that stuff, I can't imagine it's great. But we don't come on here and talk about that. We don't talk about how you guys get Jacoby Brissett in week 3 at home. Like, we're not good for you guys.
Yeah,
congratulations.
We should show the almighty undefeated Las Vegas Raiders injury report here on Nuts and Bolts every week because they're getting banged up, and eventually it's all going to come crumbling down. Chargers versus Raiders roundtable, that is 99% happening ahead of week 4. We play the Raiders after the Chiefs, but we're focused on the Chiefs right now. I just want to throw my little jab since they spend like 30 minutes of their show talking about the Chargers. Must live in their head. But let's move on to the final part, Tony. Score prediction, any like events or just like big game for this guy predictions to close it out. We're approaching 30 minutes.
No. I mean, Eckler, I have for 170 all-purpose yards, right? Because I think that they're going to, like Snake Sports said, they're going to try to keep Herbert on the field a little bit more. I think he tried to win the time of possession battle. So I can see a scenario in which Eckler has 90 yards receiving and 90 yards right, like a huge game for him. But do you want my score prediction right now?
Do you not want to give it?
I hate saying this out loud.
You want me to say mine first?
No,
I ain't afraid. I mean, Joe Morley goes ahead and says 45-24. We're not giving up 45 points. I'll tell you that.
No, that's ridiculous. That is Joe Morley's the worst.
We will not be giving up 45. Even if we lose this game, we're not giving up 45. There's no way.
No, so right now I'm Chargers 26, Chiefs 29. I just think at home, you saw the injury report. I want to be confident and I want to say that the Chargers are going to win, but you're going in there. They just came off of a loss. I also think that Andy Reid is smart enough to see what was successful against the Chargers, and they're going to try to run the football. And I think that could be successful. I don't think that they can clean up what we saw in the first 2 weeks, really. Like, even Gibson was good in week 1. Like, that was a little the game script was a little weird, and then you brought in Heineke. But as soon as a team that has capable running backs and a good offensive line, 200 rushing yards, like, it's just a lot. So I fear that they run the ball a lot, and that they, my other fear was that they put Chris Jones, they line him up on passing downs against meteorologist's son, and he just works him.
That one's not even coming on the screen, Ryan. So you might want to lower it to like a reasonable score prediction. But anyways, he put 50-0.
I know. I see it. That's not going on the screen. I don't go on to your show, Raw Mind Sports, with the 49ers talk. He's out there talking smack about Aaron Rodgers. And I hope that the Green Bay Packers thump the Niners this week. Because I have Trey Lance and I just want him to come in. I'm tired of Jimmy G starting at quarterback. Stop ruining my fantasy teams.
Yeah. Just like a little personal, like, hey, get it together, guy. Let's go.
No, Kyle Shanahan, do the right thing, my friend. Jimmy G is horrible. They barely beat Philadelphia, a team that has like they're not sure about their quarterback. Their coach is wearing like high school pep rally T-shirts to press conferences. I don't know if you saw that, where it's like he wants to beat the Cowboys. Like, bro, you get paid millions of dollars. If you like, what are you doing? I don't. To me, it's like once you're a professional, it's fun to have fun with that, like behind closed doors or with your family. You're wearing it to a press conference. Like, it just feels weird to me. Like, it's just such like a high school thing to do. Like, we're going to beat Modern Day this weekend because we're Oaks Christian or whatever. It's like, no, you're the Philadelphia Eagles. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars to do this one job, to beat the Cowboys. And so please crush them, Sirianni. And then I'll love the t-shirt.
Now the
Yeah,
Cowboys
it's just Rob Mines hosts his 49ers show, and he's a grown man in a 49ers onesie, and he's in here talking smack about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Exactly. Anyways, I'm going to give my score prediction to counter Ryan's delusional prediction with a delusional prediction of my own. We always play the Chiefs real close. We always play them really tight. But I say this week's the week that we beat them in Arrowhead for the first time since 2018. Tristan Vizcaino hits the game-winning field goal with 11 seconds left to put the Chargers up 31-28 final is my prediction. That's my pick.
I love it. I want to go
30-yard field goal goes through.
I love it. I want to go that way, and I believe, and I'll be cheering for that outcome.
And I'm telling you right now, even though it's 30-yard field goal, me and Tony are going to be on our couches separately just sweating our asses off as they call the timeout to freeze him, and then we have to wait an hour for him to actually kick it and put it through. But he's going to put it through, and the Chargers are going to win this game.
I can't watch that. It's like I'm going to have to go somewhere, and then I'll have to wait for my phone to refresh. I can't watch it in real time. I feel like my heart it might stop for a second, and I just can't handle that. I don't need that kind of pressure. I'm too old for that.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in this week. Anything last minute to add, Tony, before we go ahead and sign off here?
Nope. Let's crush the kingdom. Let's crush the kingdom.
Tony Tucker, Project Drivel, Warzone Sports Network. Go to all those Instagram pages and follow us. Nuts and Bolts has its own Instagram page just because this used to be a talk show before the Warzone Sports Network got created. So we just got Instagram pages galore. So go ahead and check those out. Later on today, we got a couple more previews. We also have Friday Night Wars today, the Goated Show. If you guys are missing NBA action, there's some NBA talkings and murmurings going on. You're going to start to see that slowly start to pick up as we get, more towards the middle of the NFL season. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Fantasy Football Speakeasy. Sunday, Fantasy Football Wake-Up Call before kickoff. I think I got them all through the weekend, but we're going to be live all weekend. So subscribe, like this video. Thanks for tuning in, Chargers fans. We'll see you guys next week after we beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Easy dub, right?
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
Don Coryell.